Welcome to Euphoria, Season 7, Episode 5. I'm Drakos, joined by my rock, my pause buddy, my poro thrower, my beatboxer, none other than Caedrel.
Your spicy wing lover.
My spicy wing lover.
Your Valentine.
My Valentine.
I'm everything in this one.
My day 2 failure enthusiast.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry, bro. That's
just me.
It's brutal, dude.
I was so happy on day 1, and day 2 was just a tragedy.
For those of you who don't know, we're talking about the spicy bet. We'll be resolving that coming up shortly. But this is the Euphoria podcast. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. On this episode of Euphoria, we're going to sit down with Larssen to talk about his history, the state of Rogue, and we're going to rank the top 5 midlaners in the league with Larssen's help, of course. We're also going to preview the big matches for next week. But first, Caedrel and I are going to need to do the Lannister thing. The repaying the debts half, not the other half of things that Lannister just do.
Bruh.
But I mean, before we even do that, let's take. I feel like we don't ever take time at the top. We always just get right into it.
Yeah,
So
let's take some time.
how you feeling about this whole murder our mouth thing?
So at first I thought like spicy wings. I like spicy food. It's probably not gonna be that bad. That was last week. Little did I know. Then yesterday, on show day, I think it was Saturday, you showed me the sauce and I smelt it. Oh my God. Just for context, this is called death sauce. And when
Sudden death sauce.
Death sauce. And when Drakos showed me the bottle, it had literally a key ring of a skull on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. And then our producers added chili powder to it.
And Thai
chilies.
chilies. Because basically...
the wings have a sauce that's spicy on them already.
Yeah, so there's spicy wings already. There's the spicy sauce that we bought. And for those of you who follow the Scoville scale, I no longer know what this is because there's like spice enthusiasts and they're like, you guys aren't going hard enough. Like your tongue is not in medical danger by putting this in your mouth. You're not like, this isn't a serious, but like we're easing into it, folks. Keep in mind the double spicy noodles apparently were only like 10,000 on the Scoville scale, despite the fact that they burned me. And this is 100,000 plus now Thai chilies added.
It's probably
plus
like
chili
200,000 at that point.
Plus whatever spicy sauce is on these wings. So we're going to see.
And I think the fact that we have to have maybe puke bags next to us kind of gives a good idea of how bad it might get.
We'll see.
Maybe
we can get the YouTube like quick zooms on your puke take. We'll find
Slow-mos.
Oh God.
Euphoria highlights.
It's going to be brutal. Yeah. But don't worry. It's not just hot wings. We'll be reviewing the games. There's going to be a lot of League of Legends content coming your way. But let's take a look at how we did with the hot wing recap.
Let's not do that.
Mutually assured destruction. Oh, okay. Last week we did spicy bet. How it worked was we went through each game and we took turns picking. The other person was forced to automatically predict the other side. It started off very good for Caedrel. He was 4-1 up.
I was so happy.
It's 1 wing per game.
And I got kind of cocky too.
He got reverse swept. He went 0-5 on the
last
last
reverse
day.
Swept? I think that's completely intergalactically swept.
Intergalactically swept. It's literally a best of 5, but we played the extra 2 just so that you know your shit. How this is going to work is we have our wings right here. These are actually like good wings from a local.
What a waste.
Yeah, and they smell like ginger and like soy sauce.
They smell so good.
But then what we're going to dip them in is a mixture of a couple different things. So it's Thai chilies, I believe Korean red chili flakes. Then there's also the sudden death sauce, which is 105,000 on the Scoville scale, which some of you called weak, which is why there are now more Thai chilies added into this on top of whatever slightly spicy sauce on top of the wings. And for comparison, we looked up the noodles that I ate last week, and those were apparently 10,000, and those really messed me up. So all the spicy people enthusiasts calling us weak, we might be weak, okay, but pain is relative, my dudes. You guys can be masochists all you want, but this is going to be...
And you have to understand that it's multiple bites in multiple wings. So it's not just a quick done drink. It's actually like consistent pain.
You sauce the wing, you eat the wing, you summarize the game, and you go next. And we're going to bounce back and forth so that me and Caedrel are doing this simultaneously. Neither of us can drink any milk until the other person...
We can't drink water, though.
We can't drink water in between summaries, in between wings. But neither of us can drink any milk until the entire thing is done. And at this point, I'm just stalling. I'm just saying more words. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. You want to go first, right?
Yeah, I'm going first.
Okay, so what is going on here? Is it a roll?
I'm rolling this wing in this sauce in front of me.
Okay, yeah. You don't have to roll it too much.
I'm trying to get
the same.
I'm trying to get the Thai chili in there.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's really red. It's really just absolutely covered.
Okay, it's dripping.
Sorry, this might be really gross. Oh my God, it's really hot.
Is it hot?
It's really hot.
Okay.
Okay. Woo! Oh. Oh no, it's the hiccups. Okay. Wait, do you have a timer?
Yeah.
Please get the timer.
Okay. Oh my god, I have to do 6.
Oh god. Oh, the hiccups and the sweating. Please get the timer.
I'm trying. Okay, go.
Okay, Astralis vs. Schalke. This is Magic Felix's debut game. He busted out the Corki, and while the game was extremely slow, a series of clutch picks from Zanzar on Skarner basically cemented Astralis' solid advantage, culminating in a big team fight in the jungle that got Astralis Baron. At this point, the only other really big moment of note was in Magic Felix absolutely 2v1 Schalke, completely and totally embarrassing Broken Blade, and reminding us that Shield Bow is
5,
a really
4,
good item.
3.
It's straight to the start of the Astralis. It's only up from here.
Done.
You have to go fast. It burns.
Okay,
It keeps
okay,
burning.
okay.
It keeps burning. And then I'm going to start the timer when you're ready. He's just absolutely going to town on that wing, by the way. He just one-shot that wing.
Oh, it's up to the sauce.
Finish the bite, brother. I can't start the timer, and I can't drink milk until we're all done.
It doesn't stop. Why the hell did I choose Vitality? My disappointment is measurable. My day is ruined. The game was close up until 23 minutes in the game when Vitality decided, woo! It was time to split Baron. Ting says 3-man sleep, 3-man CC from Arcane Treat did a really good knock-up. From there, SK clean house and take the Baron for themselves. Alongside Jesus' great performance from Vayne, was enough to push SK to a kick dub over Vitality.
You have 6 seconds. What else do you have to say?
Yeah, Vitality last place, SK. Can they
2,
make
1.
playoffs?
No. Okay.
I can't feel my tongue. It's numb.
I'm just slathering this wing. There's just there's just a fat Thai chili on that bad boy. Let's just.
Everything's numb. I need milk.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You let me know. Oh my god.
I'm crying.
Where's my timer? You got my timer? Caedrel! Get the timer!
Go.
Holy shit. Excel vs Vitality was slow. 4 kills at 22 minutes. This was a scaler. But you've got Siestas. Oh, it's in the nose. Oh, it's in the nose. You got Siestas and you got Fiestas and Siestas. This one was a really solid nap. Excel get Baron at 25 minutes without killing literally anyone to do it. It's honestly just the slowest game of all time. And the game ends when Vitality decide that Infernal Slow is the key to victory and they trade it for their Nexus. Utter trash game. Do not rewatch it. Good on Excel for just playing it nice and steady. Please tell me my time is up. That's all I've got. It's slow. It was slow.
I think I did too much.
Wait, can you actually not feel your tongue?
Yeah, I can't feel my tongue. Oh, this man. Misfits completely dismantled Astralis, winning literally all 3 lanes and taking every single objective they needed. There's really not much to break down here. It was just an individual stomp across the board, 14k gold lead, 28-minute game. Astralis had 2 kills and 1 tower in a 28-minute game. That pretty much sums up how close this game was. Oh my god, please tell me I'm done.
5 seconds.
From 5 seconds of just misery. Oh my god. My lips are like, it feels like they're in a furnace. Why can't we drink milk? This is the stupidest idea ever.
G2 vs Misfits was a super sloppy game, just generally like all G2 games are. But despite that, Misfits trading kind of even in kills. They were still down massively in gold by 2k by 10 minutes. Mickey was back on Temp Kench duty, but it was worth it because the fast incentive from Reckless was so disgusting that he had basically infinite range by the end of the game. And while Misfits had some good moments, they were no match for the Swedish sniper. August, if you for some reason watch this godforsaken sadism, nerf Santa.
No. Oh man. Every bite is worse, man.
Oh, I want milk!
Oh. Interesting drafts from both sides. Broken Blade winning the lane against Armut in an unfavorable matchup, giving the Schalke hope for the team fights. His Jace was able to turn the game on its head in those fights, doing 4 to 5k damage each of them. Although the first few fights were close, the game snowballed in Matt's favor. And their triple crack comp with Rel and Olaf came out on top.
10 seconds.
I only wrote that much. It was a great game.
You're done.
Credits Armut.
Okay. Oh, this is miserable. Oh, this is the worst thing we've ever done. This is awful.
I'm only halfway through. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, my last one. Okay, Rogue versus Mad Lions. Game was an absolute tragedy for Mad Lions. While the early game was relatively close, single bad play mid lane where Elyoya, who was definitely overcompensating, Elpoya to say the least, this game on Kindred, ulted late and failed to save his mid laner, ensuring that he died as well. But 15 minutes, Rogue was nearly, oh my god, my entire mouth burns. Speaking hurts. Running air through my mouth is painful. Roger nearly 5k ahead at 15 minutes. Hansama spends most of his time one-shotting humanoid. Syndra as Kai'Sa 1v1 in a side lane. Kai'Sa cues of balanced ability. That's the game. Caedrel. SK versus Fnatic first, and then you do Excel versus Fnatic into Rogue versus G2 Esports.
No. Wait.
You ready? To do it, eat all three wings, and then do all three summaries back to back. Okay, this is day 1, game 5. This is SK versus Fnatic. Caedrel. You have 30 seconds when you're done with that wing. You ready? Get set.
This game was an absolute stomp by Fnatic. Solo borders across the map and a teamfight domination. Bwipo complete. My lips, I can't feel my lips. Bwipo, it feels so weird to talk. MVP with the Riven pick absolutely popping off out of nowhere. Finishing the game 11-0-9. Fnatic outperformed in every role across the board essentially, and SK only really made it look close until around 10 minutes into the game. Gold lead had already started to skyrocket since the one fight at Drake, right? At 6 minutes for Fnatic. Yeah, GG.
Okay, next one. You've got Fnatic versus XL.
I'll just bite it.
Oh my god, the Thai chili peppers were not a welcome addition.
It tastes so disgusting. The remake sucked. XL show clean macro in game 1. And unfortunately, it didn't translate into game 2. Game 2 involved a lot of bot lane 2v2 kills and upset to the Sang show. XL couldn't really find the win condition in Fnatic's bot lane was so far ahead. And taking over the whole map. The Jacks were scaling, but eventually was forced to join fights where Fnatic took over and closed out the game quite handily.
Boom, done. Come on, bite, eat. Eat! Come on, Caedrel, one more win, goddammit!
Digital bits of really hard next to comp. And props to them, they pulled it off. Managing to push their winning lane adventures and neutral objectives from there, controlling both sides of the map. Rogue jungle with 1-3-1 comp for the rest of the game. Giving them full option for Drakes and Barons when it came to setting up team fights and looking for picks. Pretty clinical game. Definitely was a great game. Although G2 would make a lot of mistakes, the game was always in their hands. The realist found mistakes they made.
You're done, Caedrel. Are you ready? This has been the Spicy Bet Challenge. Every moment was pain. Drink. This has been the hot wing predictions for week 4. The milk helped a lot.
You finished your milk?
We'll only go, one shot. What are you doing? Drink the whole thing. Just drink it fast. Don't leave it in your mouth. Suck it down. It has to shoot past your mouth. This has been the hot wing prediction section. I don't know what this is going to get cut down to, but it was absolute misery and pain. I hope you all enjoyed it, you dirty masochists. We'll be back, I think, next week for another bet. In the meantime, let's talk to Larssen. Woo! All right, welcome back. Look how strong and tough we were in our spicy wing challenge. We don't actually know because we're filming it last for logistical reasons. You can imagine if we tried to do this interview after eating those spicy wings that things might not go so well. It might not be the best use of our guests' time.
Can't be that bad, right?
It'll be fine.
I'm sure we're fine.
It'll be fine. Regardless, it's now my distinct pleasure to welcome the midlaner for Rogue, Larssen, to the show. Welcome, Larssen. First off, thank you for waking up at the bright and early time of 10:45 to
10 actually. I woke up 10.
Oh, early bird gets the word.
Probably it's the earliest I've woken up in. I can't remember how long actually.
It's like 6 a.m. in pro player time for those of you with more traditional sleep schedules. So
probably like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m.
It's brutal. But I'm glad that you're here.
I'm proud of you.
Because now we get to talk about, we're going to start by talking about what happened this past weekend before we get to talk about your history, before you help us make this wonderful top 5 midlaners list. So, in your eyes, what happened in this G2 Rogue matchup that we were all so hyped for? That game was wild. What actually went down?
Our Nexus exploded, so they won the game.
It's kind of that's good.
Like the big point.
That's okay.
But, yeah. I mean, overall, we were. it was quite a crazy game. Yeah. How long was it actually? Like 50 minutes?
50 minutes. Yeah.
It was a slog.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't feel like 50 minutes because when you're in the zone, you're like, time goes fast, right? But
time does go fast.
Yeah. And this was one of the games where I was actually in the zone, so it felt really nice to play.
How do you think the drafts were? It feels like G2's comp was like a execute perfectly and win all the time, or don't execute perfectly, make one mistake, game's over.
It's kind of only G2 can play this comp, I think. They played it really, really well. Like with the 1-for-1 in mid game, it was like so annoying. Oh, I shouldn't try.
That's okay.
That's fine.
It was very, very annoying to play in the game because I knew if I would just play a team fight, that I would like demolish them. But we never come to a point where we were actually team fought, kind of. It was like 45 minutes into the game. I think there was a team fight at blue buff, but I was not even in the fight. I was like zoned from Echo, and then Jin gave first on my head as well.
Yeah.
So I was kind of not in the fight. It was just like a really sad game, honestly, to play for me because I was so strong, but we never really got to fight because they were sitting on the sidelines and being annoying.
Yeah, I remember I think the fight that you're talking about where I think Wonder one-shot you at the start of the fight is Quinn. So I was so sad.
No, that was a midlane. Yeah, I just got caught. I entered.
I think he's talking about the fight where Hans just one-shot Wunder.
Flashed in.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Hans killed Caps, but Caps killed him back. So it was a slugfest.
I don't think it was a 50-minute game, but I think I didn't play a single team fight yet.
Yeah.
And the Teamfight King is very sad, you know?
Yeah.
I
like that title, the Teamfight King. Yeah, the Teamfight King got picked once or twice, had to farm on a side lane for 30 minutes and didn't really get to play League of Legends. So it was brutal. But despite that, I think you're right. It was a super, super tense game because it really did feel like, despite, I think, the 10K deficit that you guys were in, that you very much could win a team fight if you ever actually got to start a team fight. But
we're not really used to playing against the 1-for-1, right? Because it's not something that people play really anymore. It's like only G2 can put it off. And actually, I don't know, I can't remember last time we played against it. So it was like a bit unusual situation, honestly.
Yeah.
I think if we were more used to it, maybe we would have done better. Like we reviewed the game, obviously, and there's always things you can do better, right? But they played really, really well as well, I think. I think they were tryharding a bit too much.
Too much. Just calling them out.
Tryharding in LEC, like G2.
Regular split, spring split tryharding.
Yeah, you're supposed to try weird comps that are difficult to play. That's the rule, right?
Yeah.
I thought we hand shook on that.
That was a bit disgusting, but
yeah, I think 1-3-1's kind of out of the meta now because of the Drakes, right? You stack up Drakes and it's all about Drake fights, but I think G2 played so well around Vision. Did you guys struggle? What were the comms? Were you like, guys, we need to get Vision somewhere so we can push out one of these lanes, because it felt like all three of your lanes were just being pushed in and you were just gated in your base.
Yeah, we tried to obviously in the game be what can we do, guys? Because it was not working because we were kind of stuck in our base, and then whatever we tried, it kind of never worked. So yeah,
brutal.
I think you had one small. I reviewed the game yesterday on my stream. I think you had one small window where you got Baron. You had about 1 minute to actually push down mid and actually force something while the side waves were actually in a fine state. But you guys kind of based and tried to hold your base because I think you guys were scared of them grouping up with their solo lanes and just keep ganking Odwamne, who. Yeah, he didn't really have a fun game.
Yeah, in that situation, probably could have done more. It was also at the end, I think Rail got caught. Mickey got caught, I think. Mm-hmm. And there was Elder in 140. And I think if we just push out lanes and then keep control of Elder, and I will go top, because they can't really dive me like this Queen and Echo. I can 1v2 them almost. But we send Reynox on top, which is the worst thing we can do. I think if I go top and my team keeps control of Elder when it spawns in 40 seconds, I think we could actually win the game. But we didn't do that. We sent Reynox on top and he got one shot by Quinn. And
yeah, Quinn.
There was a bit of a fiesta.
Yeah, 1v1ing the Quinn feels not very interactive. I kind of hate that she has a blind. Blind seems pretty broken in general. Might as well.
Yeah. When I died in mid, I was actually blinded, so I couldn't see anything. That's why.
I could see on the flash.
I remember the dash flash out as the auto attack is chasing you.
I was really pissed at that point.
That's brutal to watch. So my question is you talk about if you play this one a little bit different, you can run it back and win. But I think when I heard your interview with Ashley Kang, you talked a lot about wanting to be the team that will beat G2, wanting to be the team that'll face G2 in a final and actually finally win, not just win a best of 5 before finals where they're maybe not playing at full strength. So I want to know, what is it going to take for you to actually get to that state, for you and Rogue to actually be able to take a best of 5 off G2?
Well, I wish I knew exactly what we need to do to beat them. But I think, biggest point is probably just being more calm on stage. Our stage games have been a bit iffy, I think. We're 7-2, but there's definitely very close games, against Misfits, against Fatality, against Astralis. They were very close games. But if we play well, we'll win those games in 27 minutes. So I think just being more calm and getting more stage games is very important for us. Because I think we can definitely beat them, but we still need to play better on stage and still need to improve, right? I mean, we still have 2 new members, Odo and Trymbi, so we still need to learn to play with each other. Odo is probably playing a bit more weeks than he expected, so he's maybe a bit shocked. And Trymbi is a rookie, but he's improving very fast. Trymbi, like he's improving so damn fast. It's actually crazy how fast it's improving.
Yeah,
that's good.
Because we started to scrim in December, right? And I can see like such a big difference in his gameplay already.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up Trymbi, and I would love to hear more of what you think he provides for the team and kind of maybe who you would compare him to as a support, because on stage we've seen, I don't want to say hit or miss games. I think Trimby's had mostly really solid games, but we've seen a lot of int from Trymbi, I think is the simplest way to say it, but we've also seen a lot of really great plays. So talk to me about that development. Like what actually has changed for Trymbi? How has he improved? Because when we look at your roster, and I think that when we compare lane to lane, it's easy for most people to go, okay, yeah, that player can match their G2 equivalent or their Fnatic equivalent or their, whoever you guys are going to be playing against. But when you get to Trymbi, I think he's still the question mark. Like, is this actually a guy who's going to be able to compete with the Hyllisangs and the Mickeys of the league?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, he's just a rookie, right? Everyone knows it. He's only been playing for 4 weeks. So obviously he won't be like a superstar yet. But I think he's doing very well for being a rookie. And as I said, he's improving very fast. And I mean, he's a bit of a Hyllisang, right, in the games where he dies a lot. But that he has toned it down a lot in scrims at the start. He was dying kind of like Hyllisang did in Summer Split last year, like 8 times per game. But now he's not dying too much, I think. And I mean, the nice thing with Trymbi is that he's a playmaker, right? He's not afraid to make plays. He's like, yeah, if he sees opportunity, he will go in, which is a very good thing, and is very not selfish. He's selfless, so he can make us shine more. And he's like playing with Younger a lot, and we're improving on playing for mid more. That's something we also need to improve, playing for mid a lot more, which is something we're working on. But yeah, I mean, it's very nice playing with him because I think we can reach very high highs with him since he's mechanically gifted and he's not afraid to make plays.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it's like if you're making too many plays and you're inting a bit too much, I don't think it's that hard to tone down. But let's say he will be very passive and like afraid to make plays. That's like a bit harder to fix, right? It takes a longer time.
Yeah,
that's kind of. But when I came into LEC, I think I played too safe, and it's took maybe a year to like get to a level where I want to be. But for Trymbi, I think it will go faster since it's like more of the cap style where he's not afraid to make plays.
Yeah, I think it's much harder to inject aggression into a rookie rather than like inject defensive play because you can easily tone it down. I think the biggest thing that I saw from Trymbi is, especially in the first 2 weeks, was this guy would just walk alone to get some wards and then just get caught randomly before an objective. But I think the last week 3 and week 4, this has definitely stopped a lot. And I think, is that something you identified and you and Inspired were like, okay, you need to stop warding alone, just wait for jungle and then we'll do it together?
Not really. That's not something we said, I think. But I mean, he I think he is trying to be a bit more careful, right? That's kind of it, yeah.
I like that you're sliding.
I like this. I like that you're honest. You're just like, no, that wasn't something we talked about.
Which means he did it on his own.
He just did it on his own.
It's a bit opposite what we talked about because we've been talking about him warding a bit more and like warding sprees.
Okay.
So that's kind of a bit opposite. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, yeah, and overall, I'm ready to see how he develops. I'm always curious about rookies, and I think that Trymbi it's always hard to separate a rookie from a team, and I think that Trimby's set up to look good playing on your team, but the fact that he's come in and has been a playmaker is cool to see, because again, you guys talk like passive players on stage is what I am used to. I am used to the Larsens who come on stage and play Corki is here.
And they sit under the tower.
And they sit under a tower. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially when in the case of Corki is here, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're playing Oust or Rel and you're sitting under tower, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There's just nothing that you're going to do for the rest of the game.
That's something Larssen and I have a history with, of him sitting under his tower and me being in mid lane against him. We used to play against each other a long time ago. 2017. We have one clip here where we played against each other in the Challenger series. I was playing Corki, you were playing Caedrel. Do you remember this game?
I can't see it.
Oh, it's Schalke versus War. It was the games where you were playing with Woolite, Dan, JWoww, and AOD. 2017 Challenger Series. I think it was a summer. Long time ago. Yeah. I think we played 2 games. It was best of 2 in Challenger Series back then. I think that's the first time we properly played against each other in a big European league. And then the year after this, actually, we played on the same team together in Ninjas in Pyjamas. You remember those days?
and then we played HUK 2 games, and
Yep.
Crazy.
Oh my.
Me and Larssen have a big history.
So how did it feel to be the team that got the honor of getting knocked out by Expect, Insect, Froggen, Forgiven, and Chess?
oh,
Like, talk to
I
me.
mean, they went on to stomp the whole tournament, this team, so it wasn't too bad, right?
Yeah, they won the whole tournament. But what were your thoughts of that tournament in general? How did you feel about it?
I think it was very important tournament for me. Like the Masters are usually very, very important to like show up for young players, because that's kind of where people will not notice you. Like if you do really well in Masters, you'll probably find a spot in LEC. And that was like my beginning of getting a bit more noted, I think, this tournament, because the next Masters I was already like people noticed me more, and because of this next Masters tournament, I was able to reach LEC. But I mean, this tournament, it was very nice playing for Caedrel, such a nice guy and good younger.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more. I kind of want to know more about your history in general. So when did you actually get started playing League of Legends in general? And what was your experience climbing? Were you one of those guys who was like immediately good? You like started grinding first season, you're like instantly challenger? Or are you one of those players who like struggled more to climb the ladder? What was your actual start with League of Legends?
I played this game for almost 10 years now, I think. Like ever since I was 10 years old. My brother started playing it, and then kind of typical history, like my brother started playing it. I watched him play for a few months, and then I eventually decided to play as well. And then in season 3, I started playing ranked, and already in season 4, in early season 4, I reached challenger for the first time. I think I was like 13 years old, so I was like very proud of myself.
Damn.
Because I saw myself as such a young talent, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And so I reached it kind of fast, right? Like maybe I played ranked for a year, and then I reached challenger.
You're a
And
prodigy.
then, I think everyone is prodigy who's in LEC. You need to be very talented, right?
I like that. That's
And then-
spread the love.
I like it how he's like, I was a young prodigy, but he was 13. Well, you're a very young prodigy. 13? That's crazy.
Were you getting
Yeah.
scouted off the challenger ladder before people knew that you were just like 13? Did anyone like reach out for team offers? Then you had to be like, oh, I'm 13. And they're like, okay, never mind. We'll come back in 3 years when we can play in the actual league.
Not really, actually. I think people didn't like me. I was a very annoying kid. I was a very, very, very annoying kid in solo queue. So I didn't really make any social contacts. It was kind of the opposite. So I changed my name after a while, and then it went better. But yeah, I was a very annoying kid in solo queue, so I didn't really find any team at the start.
Wait, what brand of annoying? Like toxic, like L9 kind of annoying, or just like?
No, not L9. I was more like, if anyone does anything annoying, I will sit and be a keyboard warrior in chat, and like, yeah.
That's fine.
If anyone did a little bad play, I will tell them, and yeah.
I can't judge you.
That's not how it should be.
I have said many things about strangers' mothers on Xbox Live for Halo 2. Like I am not in a position to judge you. You know what I mean? I know all about like the keyboard ego that comes out when people want to talk smack to you.
Yeah.
I never said any really like bad words like about other people's mothers or.
All I'll say is
like
that's because you didn't have voice chat, because it comes out
But
of you.
even in Xbox Live, you send them a little text message afterwards. And I'm like, screw you. Yeah.
Type it. At least you didn't have to type on a controller. At least you had a keyboard to type. That's all I'll say. So when you actually first started getting into the competitive scene, like what was your trajectory? Because you came in, I think, at a very awkward time where you came in at the transition to between Challenger Series, what is eventually the ERLs and EU Masters. I think you're one of you alongside like Han Sama was, I would say, the Challenger class before you, but you came in as I think one of the last guys to promote from what was effectively Challenger Series. I guess even then EU Masters, because you did play with that NIP lineup. But what was your trajectory like? Like how did you end up rising so quickly up now into the LEC?
I wouldn't say it was quickly. I was kind of fighting for 4 years to reach LEC. I started already in like season 6 with playing in the UK scene against Caedrel as well. He was the enemy midlaner in the Renegades Bandidos, I think their name was.
I remember that.
Good times. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and so I kind of played in UK scene for like 1.5 years. It's also the thing that I had my school, like ever since I was in season 4, I was like counting when my school would be finished, and that would be season 9 in summer. So I was like kind of, my my goal in my head was to be good enough to reach LEC when I graduated from school, which is what happened, was very nice. But I was kind of fighting for a long while, like until season 6 in UK scene, and then season 7 in Challenger series. And then Challenger series obviously disappeared, which was very sad for me because it's very like it was a step before LEC, right? And I was a bit worried that I won't reach LEC because of this. But then EU Masters happened with Caedrel and NRP, and then eventually season 9 I got the LEC offer, but I still wanted to finish school, which was in summer. So that's why I split an academy, and then I go to LEC.
Yo, respect for finishing school. There's a lot of players who would immediately put school aside for their ambition, and I wouldn't blame them.
I think it was a bit stupid to finish school, but it worked out.
But no, let's cut the tape there. We're gonna run that back. You're gonna say school is really good and really important.
Stay in school, kids.
There you go.
Yeah.
Drugs are bad. School is important.
Funny enough, I remember that Ninjas in Pyjama roster. I was like just contacting. I was like, you have to build a team for this roster, for this EU Masters qualifier spot we have, and I was like. Just played a LAN event with Larssen where we lost in the UK scene. So I thought we were terrible. And Larssen was like Diamond 1. I was like low elo. So I was like, should we just try it? Like, just run it back with the same roster, just with a different top laner and with Finn instead. And then we did. Yeah, we ran it back with Hustle on support and Finn top. So we topped out top support. Then we went all the way to the quarters and lost Origin. Even though against Origin, we were 1-1 in the series in the best of 3. And in the second game, we were 10,000 gold up, 3 Infernal Dragons, and 3 inhibs, and we lost. So technically, we won that series in my mind. Yeah. That's a win in my books. Yeah. But I actually had a question for you.
We kind of won at EU Masters, right? Because Origin won against Frio against Mad in the final, so we would also win Frio probably, right? So.
That was the Mad with self-made or something like this. But yeah, anyway, if you were to have gotten an LEC offer before finishing school, would you have taken it? Do you think? Like if I don't know, Roccat or H2K or some team came towards you in 2017, 2018, 2019 and said, "Do you want to be our starting mid laner?" Would you have dropped school and gone for it, or would you be like, "No, I want to finish school, even though I'm fighting for this so hard. I think school is where I need to finish, and then I'll go to the LEC."
I mean, that's kind of what happened, right? I got LEC offer when I was still in school. I had a half year left in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to finish school, right? Because it was what my gut feeling told me. And I just need to follow what my gut told me, I think. Because I was overthinking it a lot and there was a back and forth, but in the end I just needed to decide. But I think if I got it like back in like season 8, oh shit. If I got it back
I was going to cover it up once you finish your point, you're good.
If I got it back season 8, I probably would have quit because waiting like 1.5 years for playing LEC, I think it would be too long time. But I didn't get the LEC offer back then. And since it was only half a year to finish school, I would just want to get it off my mind because it's like having the school thing on the side and knowing that I need to finish it would be a bit annoying for me. So I just needed to finish it to like get it completely off my mind.
Yeah, I think you came in at the right time in your life and in the league itself as well.
Yeah, and
I mean, if I played with Rogue in the spring split, probably won't be too good for me because I went 216 or something.
Yeah, now you got to come in when everything changed. You got to be the fresh blood, the new blood on the Rift. I don't even remember that lineup. That was
with
it was Profit, TQ, Senkuk, Abdid, Kikis.
Good times.
Yeah, that was a spaghetti lineup. But
spaghetti lineup.
Just a lot of random stuff in a pot. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a red sauce, but what is it made of? Nobody knows.
Yeah. I mean, Caedrel was kind of fighting with them at the bottom. I think it was
okay, you didn't have to say that.
Okay, no, you did have to say that. That's perfect. That's perfect. Because my next question is, you are one of the few people in the world who is very competitive at League of Legends and has played against Caedrel as a mid laner. So I need to know, like, at his peak, how good and or bad was Caedrel? Like,
in mid or jungle?
In mid.
Okay.
I could say like this. I played with him against him when he was like 18 or 19, but I could already feel that he plays like he's 30 years old. So I kind of knew he would go to jungle or support eventually.
Yeah.
Because he seems a bit old. His mechanics, you know. So
okay.
But he always managed to be kind of clutch on stage and play very well.
Okay.
Which I respect him for.
Any more good things you want to
say? Is it good for the...
He won against me when I was 15 years old, so nice job.
I don't know what to say back to him. He just completely destroyed me with what he just said.
No, I just want... So, do you think that Caedrel decided to become a caster at the right time in his career, or do you think he had a few more years in him?
Yeah, I mean... I think he could keep fighting at the bottom for a little bit, but I respected the decision.
You wanted to push for that, didn't you? You wanted to hear that. What can I say to him? He's younger than me, he's better than me, and he's higher in the league than I've ever been.
Yep.
Well, at least I'm...
He got to play Urgot jungle on stage. What have you done? Azir? Ugh. Boring.
Azir Corki? Yeah.
Azir Corki.
Yeah, but actually, I'm happy where I am, because I'd rather do this than what I'm doing than sit under my tower for 30 minutes every stage game.
Oh my god.
I mean, that was a long time ago. I think my 4% is quite high these days.
That's true.
I actually don't know what your 4% is.
If you look at stats, they're probably back me up, honestly. So.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Just like you had to back up when one shot you.
It's like when you meet. It's like when you meet your like cousins and then you go and you don't see them for years. That's what you remember them as. I remember you was always sitting under your tower, so that's how it's gonna stay. Like that.
I mean that's very true. That's something I proved a lot on last year.
That's the familiar.
Because back in the days, I was like the scaling god. I would play Vladimir, Corki, Caedrel, and I would sit under my tower
Azir
and wait until I get my items.
Sorry, but
and then I would be the teamfight king.
The scaling god, the teamfight king.
Teamfight king is a title, but if anyone calls themselves the scaling god,
that's not the way
you're washed. You're trash. I'm sorry. Like I love you, Larssen. You can be the teamfight god. I believe it. Your teamfights are clean. But if any player comes into our league and is like, I'm the scaling god, I'm like, if your team has to wait 30 minutes for you to do anything, you're a god of nothing.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
Yeah, I mean obviously that's why I changed, right?
Yeah.
But in Challenger series and stuff, I think my 4% was probably like 1% or 2%, honestly.
I think in NIP, I remember he solo killed Froggen in that series. But Froggen solo killed him too.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You guys are both players who are a little bit more passive.
I will say I had to gank mid a lot in that series.
You did play Skarner, so if you didn't gank mid, I would be sad.
Yeah. No, those games were really fun. I really enjoyed playing with Larssen. He's a good teammate.
It's good. Larssen.
You too.
When
You're
did
my
you...
mentor. You made me this good kid.
Well,
whoa! Just take it, bro. That's the only W you're gonna get today.
I guess in a way I helped with the NIP thing, and I feel like I kind of pushed him in a way from the first time I joined the team with him, just to like help him.
Caedrel definitely helped me a lot in my career. So
okay, I'll take that.
There
That's
you go.
Words.
Caedrel is the homie. Can't confirm. helps
the 30-year-old homie that
the 30-year-old homie with boomer mechanics. But he might not help your KDA or your solo queue wins, but he helps in other ways.
I'll help you get better. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Help you look better too, by comparison. Larssen, I got to know, when did you know that you were a top mid laner? Like when did you really feel like you were ready to compete at the top of the table?
Can I guess before he answers? Because I have a feeling he always thought he was the best.
No, it's not true.
Okay.
Maybe I look confident, or like when I talk to people or something. I don't know. I'm not sure actually, but I definitely didn't feel that confident, like that I was a top mid laner. I had a lot of respect for all the other mid laners. Probably last year, I felt like I was a top mid laner. But before that, I definitely didn't feel like I felt like I did too little plays, you know?
Yep.
And that's what I think everyone can see, that I was doing too little plays and not doing enough, which is something I was trying to improve a lot the past year. And I mean, basically my whole career, I've been trying to improve in it and like be more confident to just go for the plays. And if it doesn't work out, then shit happens, you know?
Yeah.
So probably like last summer when I actually felt way more confident and I was not afraid to go for plays and I was not afraid to be aggressive. That's probably when I felt like I was a top mid laner. Yeah.
All right. Well, now we got to figure out how much of a top mid laner you are, because we're going to make our top 5 mid laners list. So I think the easiest way to do this, and I would go straight to 1-2, because I mean we've talked about this before, but I think for the fans, for the suspense, we got to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even if I think people might know who number 1 is, and then, you know, by default who maybe number 2 is, but we'll find out. But before we get there, I think we have to do the kind of brutal job of just chopping names off the list. So right off the bat, gentlemen, can we cut it down to 6 or 7 mid laners before we make our top 5? Who is not on the top 5 list right now? This is a thankless task of just cutting people down.
It's just based on standings, right? So I think, Larssen, see if you agree with me here, but I guess players like Milica, Vetheo, Blue, I think those 3 can be cut out.
That's reasonable. I mean, they're also quite new to the league, all those 3. So.
All right. So if we're cutting out Milica, Blue, Vetheo, that leaves us with... Are we cutting out Magifelix as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fair as well.
Sorry, boys. We'll review you in the future. But for now, that leaves us with 6, which is in no particular order. I'm just reading them as I see them. Checolad, Abadage, Nisqy, Caps, Humanoid, and you, Larssen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I think number 5 is the hardest.
number 5 probably is the hardest because number 5 is
Yeah, I
also
thought so as well, yeah.
the first cut. And obviously, our audience isn't going to know who's getting cut until the final moment here. But I would suspect that based on the standings, based on the results, and I would love to hear if there's anyone that defies expectations here. But I would guess that number 5 is a discussion between Checolad and Abadage. Is that fair?
I mean, I would probably take Abadage, yeah. Checolad is also one of these rookies, so can improve a lot. But for now, Abadage is definitely better. And then, do I keep going off the list?
No.
It's
I
not
think
too hard.
we can go number 5. Yeah, I would love. We can get through your full list too, but I would love to know on the Abadage point because I think that it's hard to cut through the faker dogge memes to figure out how people actually rate this player. Because last split there was so much praise for him on stage. You know, Perkz was one of the ones who was really adamant about calling him faker dogge. It seems like he was also just like monstering people in scrims. When you look at like the distance between Abadage, who's currently our 5th place player, and players at the top of the list, like how much of a gap is there? Is like Abadage very like neck and neck with the players who we're going to place above him, or is Abadage maybe a little bit outside of the top 4 or the top 3?
I mean, it's not a huge gap, obviously. I mean, every player in the LEC is a good player, and everyone is talented, so there's not going to be huge gaps. But there's definitely a gap between Abadage and like top 4, I think. That's for sure what I think. But also, I'm making this list, but I haven't won anything, so it's a bit cringe for me to make this list.
I don't think so.
I haven't won a trophy. I haven't won anything. So.
Yeah, but just because.
But I would say what I think.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Having an opinion, right?
It's having an opinion.
And it doesn't matter how much weight's on that opinion. An opinion is opinion, right? I mean, there is a little bit of weight because you did finish 1st place in Summer Split. So
also, you're a good mid lane.
And you're a very, very good player. So I think
teams in 1st, tied technically.
Don't be afraid of the weight behind your opinion. I think it's just based on an opinion, right?
Yeah, because no matter what you say, you're gonna get roasted. People are just gonna roast you no matter what. So just tell us what you think.
Exactly. Whether you have one or not, you're probably gonna get roasted anyway. So yeah, 5th place. What do you think for 4th place? And if you think it's quite click, like you thinking humanoid there?
Actually, this is the hardest on the list. I think the 3-4 place. I think it's between Nisqy and humanoid.
Yeah,
obviously.
What do you think?
And I mean, probably right now, based on stage games, I would say humanoid 4 and Nisqy 3. But humanoid is a very talented player, but he is just inting a bit too much.
Does
has very, very weird deaths sometimes.
Would you?
But yeah,
would it be safe to say that humanoid has higher highs? Because I think the thing that kind of makes it difficult for me to rate Nisqy right now is like the Seraphine games. Because to me, Seraphine is just he's in the right places. He's pushing the buttons that he has to push. But in general, when I look at Seraphine, I don't see it as like a highly mechanically demanding champ. So I don't really get to see the big flashy moments. What do you think that like? Do you feel like you have a good read on Nisqy right now, given how many like more supportive champions that he's been playing? I don't know what scrims have looked like behind the scenes, but is it just that Nisqy doesn't int it sometimes, or is there other things that put Nisqy ahead of humanoid?
I mean, definitely very consistent on stage, Nisqy, right? And he has a very big champ pool. I wouldn't say he just plays supportive champs. I mean, he played us, he has played Aurelia. He just has a very big champ pool, I think. But I think he's a bit less mechanically gifted than humanoid. But he's definitely played very well on stage so far, Nisqy. So, yeah.
How less mechanically gifted are we talking? We're talking like Caedrel old man. He's eventually going to become a supporter. You're just talking like a little, like just a slight difference.
How am I the old man? Trevor's still working for LEC.
Maybe in between those two.
In between those two. Just trying to gauge.
I'm a measuring tool now.
You're a measuring tool. Okay. And Trevor can't.
So Nisqy is not 30 years old. Maybe it's like 25. Yeah.
Oh, he's 25.
I'm 25 in March. Yeah.
Okay. It's about mechanical age.
Okay, mechanical
you know what I
age.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm like 70. Like I have like the worst mechanical quote unquote arthritis known to man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's Trevor's then?
Oh God, I don't even know if I'm 70. Trevor's a corpse, dude. It's gone.
Okay. Well, I like that. I'll stick with that.
Okay, so right now, it's humanoid in 4th, and it's Nisqy in 3. And now we get to top 2, right? And in this list right now feels pretty easy to make. And I imagine it'll get harder as we get more closer to best of 5s, especially where we get to see a little bit more from each of these players and we're not just playing best of 1s. But Who's your number 1 and number 2? How big is the ego now? I asked you if you were a good player, and you said you're a good player now. But are you that good,
I'm a
Larssen?
Humble guy, and I'm a humble guy, and so I will put myself at 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very understandable. Caps is a god, and he's been so good for such a long time. He has won like 6 titles in a row or something like that.
Yep.
I think.
Since 2018, he has not
That's
dropped a
crazy,
title.
actually. 6 titles in a row.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I mean, I would be really delusional if I put myself over him, right?
If you had the opportunity to play AD carry or jungle for Caps and basically guarantee a title, would you take that over continuing to play mid lane? Just as a random side question.
That's a good question.
I mean, maybe. I think I'm gifted at all roles, so I could do it, but I'm committed to rogue. So
I haven't seen Larssen play jungle, I must admit.
No,
so
yeah,
I can't comment.
I'm a Lilia main now. I'm a jungle main now. Because
I respect
now
it.
when you're full clear and you invade enemy junglers, it's very fun. But when you're not a carry, it's not fun to play jungle.
It's very fun to just get in their face and watch everyone run and kill you.
All right, sorry to derail there. I'm always just curious because like ever since Perkz made the swap, I'm like, how many other players would take this opportunity and just go off role to play
I would
with
take
Caps?
it just for context.
Yeah, okay, buddy. You know what? I would join G2 too. It would be impossible because I'd have to get to like what, D3, D2? But
Yeah, D3. Long way.
Probably a lot more.
yeah, I know. I need to get to D4, I think, first. And
You got to get the platinum first, no?
oh, dude, come on. All right, that's fair.
I've
To be
taken
fair,
shots,
I've
you're
earned
taking
that.
shots.
I've earned that. I can't lie. Jesus, I'm so washed. Like you're washed by pro standards, but I'm just washed by like everyday.
Hey, I'm almost
people
challenger in
standards.
solo queue, so I'm not that washed.
That's great. You could certainly have had a lot more time to play solo queue since you're.
Yeah, I don't have to scream.
That's true. All right, so let's talk about top 2. Obviously, you said that Caps is so good, but tell me why you see yourself as number 2. What makes you better than players like Humanoid, than players like Nisqy, than players like Abadage? Why are you in second place?
I don't know what to say about it. I think I'm better, right? That's why I put myself over them, because I think I'm better.
I think
So that's the simple answer.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you guys agree with me, maybe you don't.
No, I think your list is pretty accurate. I think your performance in summer were really, really good after playing against you especially. And now, spring 7-2. I think you've carried most games, although the meta is more of like a slow meta in a way where you're picking like Azir and scaling. You are the teamfight king, from my opinion. So yeah, I think I would agree with your power ranking, honestly.
It's interesting. I think I still struggle with. I think number 5 is fair. Number 1 is fair. And honestly, Larssen, I'd put you number 2. I think all of that really makes sense to me. I think it really is the 3-4 debate that I struggle with, because you're right, Nisqy did certainly have those good Aurelia games, but I really want to. And it's, I think, the nature of mid lane right now that we don't see as many pop-offs as we do from like immediate bot lane 2v2 kills and top side, because there is just so many freaking control mages, so there's just so much less action.
You also have to like take into account.
And then there's this. Then there's new item as well that gives like 40 MR, so you'll probably not see a solo kill
Verdant barrier.
until this gets deleted. So.
Yeah, I think you also have to take into account like the other roles, right? Top support. Nisqy's got Bwipo Hylissang next to him, and although sometimes that can be a bad thing, it's most of the time it's a good thing.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, then Humanoid has like Armut's brand new to the LEC. Kaiser's obviously one of the best supports, but I mean Bwipo Hylissang is like top 2 in their role, right? And I think mid lane is really high impacted by jungle support top, especially.
Do you think if you wanted to actually measure like the best mid laners, do you think it would be better to also include mid jungle? Not that we would do that here today, but I'm always curious because when you make a tier list, I feel like obviously League of Legends isn't a 1v1 game, so it's always, these lists are always kind of, they're for fun at the end of the day, right? Like people can get as excited about them as they want to, but at the end of the day, it's a team game, and no matter how good you are as a mid laner, unless your name is Caps, you can't carry a game for your team. So do you think that like if someone actually wanted to make a better version of a mid lane tier list, do you think it would be you'd have to include jungle, you'd have to include support? Like are those just such big factors in how mid lane is played that you can never make a mid lane list without acknowledging who's playing jungle or who's playing support?
Yeah, I mean that's probably true, right? I mean the team is always very important. Like if your team is smurfing, then you will look way better, and if your team is bad, then you will look probably not very good. Just how it is. It's a team game, and I think that's how every team game is. If your team is smurfing, then you will look good, and if not, then you won't look good. And younger support also is influenced mid a lot, especially support. I think. I mean that's something I noticed in China that supports raw mid a lot, and it's obviously way easier to play if you have vision all the time, and if you have support behind you, you can play so much more aggressive. So obviously that matters a lot, but yeah.
Do you think with the kind of his last question, since we now have your top 5 list, do you think that mid is still the most important role in the game? Because in previous seasons it was so obvious. When TF wasn't permabanned, it was so obvious, how crucial and how important mid is. And I think it's easy to, when it's Azir or Orianna, when Felix, and he had a great game, but goddamn, please stop playing Corki. Not because it's not a good pick, just because God kill me if we get a Azir Corki meta again.
It might come back. I'm sorry to say that.
Larsen's favorite.
When I saw Maddie Faker playing Corki, I got so hyped on it. So you might see a Corki next week.
Just make sure you don't package into the next, okay?
Oh my God.
Good one.
Oh, you have to get a roast back. You have to get a roast back. Okay. Yeah, but do you still think that mid is like definitively the most important role in the game? Because it was so obvious in past seasons and past years, hell, even when TF was allowed to be played, how important mid was. But it feels really easy to look past mid when it's all control mages all the time. Do you still think mid is the most important role in the game?
I mean, they nerfed Cannon with 10 gold. So after that nerf, I'm not sure. 10 gold on Cannon, so it's just huge. So I don't know anymore.
First.
But I think it's not. I don't think it's the most important. I think support jungle is very broken, honestly, right now, especially when jungle is such a strong role where you need to invade and get ahead in jungle. I think support jungle is very broken. At least at Worlds, it was very broken, and I still think it is. But now jungle is getting nerfed again, so we will see. I heard jungle is getting nerfed at least. I didn't look it up, but
deserved, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so broken. It's so broken.
Jungle role.
That's true. I should have said that in the past, mid was the most important role. I guess this season it's clearly been jungle.
And now, ever since Herald came, I think it's also a bit different because bot lane actually decides a lot about Herald. Like bot lane on top. Like if your support has move and you get Herald for free, that's very huge, right? Because Herald is quite broken, the first Herald. You just get a big lead from it.
True.
So I think the Herald thing and then that jungle support is very strong right now. I think mid is not as OP it was before, but
I think
still a very good role, right?
Yeah, mid jungle is super important, but mid jungle is sub diff, and sub diff is mid jungle diff, and then top diff is mid jungle support diff, and then all of that is AD diff. So everything.
So what you're saying is the jungler is never responsible. It's always
mid jungle is always responsible, but mid jungle always is based on how good your support is.
So.
And then all three of these determine how good your AD and top will be. So the support's responsible for everything.
As long as ADs and top laners are the least responsible, it's just good to know. They're never at fault.
Yeah, just have TP up, please. That's it.
Larssen, thank you again so much for coming on. That's all the time that we have for today, but super appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. It was really interesting to hear your top 5 list. Again, to recap. Yeah, of course. To recap, it was Abadage in 5th, Humanoid 4th, Nisqy 3rd, Larssen number 2, Caps number 1. Let us know what you think of the list. Resist the temptation to just light Larssen up. He came in here. He said, it's just my opinion. You can light us up. It's our job to be lit up professionally, but...
we'll be lit up after these wings.
We will. The wings are coming next. Yeah. They technically came before in the show, but now we're reporting it now. Yeah. Thank you, Larssen, for...
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Also for losing to G2, because that gave Caedrel an extra wing. So I'm sorry that you had to get one shot by Wonder in the mid lane.
Yeah, why are you going to do me like that, Larssen?
But it was absolutely worth it. Any final parting words, Larssen? Anything that you want people to know other than the fact that you are number 2 on the mid lane tier list? Me and Caedrel both agree. And you're the team fight king. Is there anything else?
The scaling god.
I'm not calling you the scaling god.
And he's the king of the jungle with the tiger.
No, what? You can't just keep giving him titles.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to be besides the scaling god, the king of the jungle, and the team fight king?
Ginger god. That's
Ginger god.
The ginger god.
So Ginger god.
That's more. Yeah.
Blessed be his name.
It's 4 titles.
So you have 4 names now for broadcast. So I hope to hear them.
Yeah.
And the ginger god pops off. I feel rude saying that, but yeah.
I'm gonna, if Captain Flowers ever casts an international event, I'll just be like, yeah, we literally only call him the Ginger God. We've never called him anything else. He's just called the Ginger God.
And then Captain Flowers
Captain Flowers like hits it full 10 out of 10, no irony, because he has no idea that it's just from this podcast. The Ginger God.
Oh my god, I love it.
Okay. All right, Larssen.
I wouldn't mind if you call me that. I like being a ginger. So
just listen to the team fight king Ginger God strikes.
The jungle king. Okay. Yeah. That's all the time we have. Larssen, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone, please refer to Larssen now as the Ginger God. That is very important. Thank you to Rogue. Thank you to Larssen. And we'll talk to you later, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right. It was really good to talk to Larssen today. Thanks again to him and Rogue for lending us so much of his time to talk about just about everything going on in the league, whether it be mid lane, his history, or Rogue as a team. But that said, now we have to look forward. And as much as I wish I could tell you, dear audience, that week 5, the beginning of the second round robin, is going to be an absolute banger, it's a rough week for game quality. I'll be honest. It's a lot of very one-sided games. And now every time I say that, there's usually a week full of upsets. But the 2 big games that we have highlighted are going to be on Saturday. Schalke versus G2, Fnatic versus Mad. I think these are the real bangers of the week. Sadly, it's still on patch 11.3. We're not on 11.4 yet, so the big jungle changes won't come through. But it's still, I think, going to be... It's time to see how much the Miracle Run support goes for Schalke after their losses to Astralis last week.
Yeah, they lost to Astralis and Mad. They had a 0-2 weekend. But the thing is, Schalke is the team who did beat Rogue. So I think that it's just, even though it might sound underwhelming on paper, like G2 versus Schalke, because G2 obviously stomped Rogue to a point where it was like, damn, son. That against Schalke,
where'd you find these?
Where'd you find these picks? And then, yeah, against Schalke, it's a bit underwhelming, I suppose, on paper. But I think if you think about it a bit more in depth, Schalke is like that team that wins against the best teams and loses against the bad teams. Like they lose to Astralis and they beat G2 and Rogue. So although it might not look super, super cool, I think it's just interesting. Overall.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you lose to or if you beat Schalke, you're a bad team. So G2, be careful, because if you beat Schalke, you're just confirming that you are a bad team.
If you beat top teams and lose to bad teams, are you a good team?
If you make playoffs, yeah.
True.
I think that's the thing. It's like, yeah, but if you can't make playoffs, then no, it sucks.
Yeah, I guess. Because then the bottom teams aren't in playoffs.
Yeah, because it was Origin last year, right? That was like contesting the top teams and had some pretty okay games against top teams.
10th.
I know. And then they lost to every bottom team like clockwork, right?
So.
Hey.
Yeah, and
nice.
then Fnatic Mad as well. The second banger we have. That's more of like the Gokus are like the G2 and Rogue, and then it's like the level down, just a tiny little bit down, like the Gohan, versus Trunks. That's like Fnatic versus Mad.
Okay, but to be fair, this is like, I feel like if G2 and Rogue are like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like Super Saiyan 3, Super
Apologies
Saiyan 4.
to anyone who hasn't watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, if they're like crazy power levels, it's just like giant power creep. I feel like Fnatic Mad is just some honest kung fu, like OG Dragon Ball. Like the Kamehameha is just being figured out. It's mostly just honest hand-to-hand combat, fight to the death. And frankly, I like that. I'm ready to see Hylissang and Kaiser run at each other with reckless abandon. Like if we get a Rel versus Rel mirror match in this match, I would like break every rule in the league to make that happen, because that would make me laugh.
Yeah, and Fnatic have toned it down a lot recently with aggression. Although
no, they haven't. No, okay. So here's the thing: they've been more successful.
Yeah,
and for sure they've proven that they can tone down the aggression when they need to. But I think that they're very much
Hylissang still Hylissang.
they're the and one team. You know what I mean? Like they'll take the foul, but like as long as they hit the shot, that's all they care about.
But I think a person who stepped up a lot for me on Fnatic is Upset. I think that guy's had really good performances, especially last weekend.
Yeah,
and he's showing in the 2v2. Not only are they dominating the 2v2s, but I just think in team fights, Upset, even though he was playing things like Samira, he's definitely shown his level a lot more recently, I think. I think Fnatic's definitely looking stronger and stronger as the split progresses. So they're powering up while G2 and Rogue are having a massive fist fight on a different planet somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see what happens again.
I'm ready to see those rematches come through too, because I think Fnatic and Rogue is coming up shortly. But I do want to say, on the Mad side of things, I think that Armut had a very, very good game. The Jace play was really sick. And I'm ready to see what him and Bwipo and the top lane is going to look like. Because we saw Broken Blade versus Armut. I really would like to see it be in a situation where both top laners have some kind of sick power pick, and it is a very highly skill-based matchup. Gnar versus Jace was cool. Broken Blade obviously building an early advantage, but it wasn't that hype. But after Whippo's Riven game, really want to see that. Like I feel like the good news for Mad fans is like you saw some pretty solid games over the course of the weekend, but for Fnatic you got like the game that was the Bwipo clinic, and then you got the game that was the bot lane clinic, and like Nisqy played Seraphine.
You got 3 games.
Yeah, you basically got 3 games where they just absolutely popped off. Sadly, Nisqy played Seraphine. It was pretty chill. And Selfmade actually did a ton of work, but like Lilia isn't the flashiest.
Guardian Angel Lilia. Yeah, that kind of sums it up. But I think also 11.4 will come around by the time that those teams face each other. So maybe Bwipo wants to bust out something like a Viego, which wouldn't surprise me because Bwipo loves new champs.
He was playing it on stream. I was watching him play it on stream, and he was hype. He was learning it. It was his first games, so it wasn't maybe the results that he was looking for, but Yeah,
I don't know how useful this champ is. In solo queue, it's sprinting my games down, so maybe it's not broken. But in the hands of a pro player, maybe it's strong. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be an interesting top matchup. I think Armut is good at carries in general. I think things like Jace and Renekton stand out. But other than that, I'm looking at like Shen, Ornn, Wukong. from the Armored Classics. Whereas Bwipo...
I mean, Bwipo's also, outside of the Wukong, Bwipo loves his Shen and his Ornn.
Yeah, but Bwipo's champion pool, like, it's like putting your hand in a basket instead of a pocket, you know? He can pull anything out, you know? Oh, Singed, oh, Rengar. So, yeah, he should be fine.
He doesn't even know what he's grabbing half the time. It's like an infinite bag. He just reaches the arm and he's like, today we're playing a Riven? Question mark?
That's how the draft meeting goes. Fanatics.
Yamato's like, spin the wheel, Bwipo. He's like, I'd like to use my one respin this week. It lands on Riven again. All right,
it's like the Aram rerolls.
Bwipo has rerolls, but he has to pick a random.
And the spin is like 50 champions on it.
It's literally like the fastest pro player account to be restricted to certain champions, so he actually can't pick them on stage.
While Bwipo's asleep, Yamato like sneaks into the room and changes the wheel and adds like Urgot 20 times and then Ornn 10 times and removes puts Singed and Rengar once only, and then it hits finally and Bwipo's like and Yamato's like, oh.
God, statistically impossible.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll find out what's going to happen. Of course, LEC coming your way Friday and Saturday as always. Schalke, No Fear, and G2 and Fnatic and Matter are both going to be happening on day 2. That's on the Saturday, but Friday we'll have some exciting games as well. Keep your eye out for the schedule. We'll get to see how G2 and Astralis goes, Rogue versus Misfits, Vitality versus Fnatic. There's some potentially one-sided games, but I'm still excited to see it. This has been EUphoria Season 7, Episode 5. We'll see you guys next week.